2, 1. Okay, so I wanted to start off with a couple of things. Your course on Canvas is live. And so just some business up front. What you can expect for this week is you don't have anything due on Wednesday or Friday. You have 3 assignments due next week, Monday. So speech weeks, I want to focus on the speech. So I don't want you to focus on anything but your speech. So if you're giving your speech today, you can do your assignments anytime you want and just be done. If you're giving your speech on Wednesday, you don't have to worry about anything but your speech. Fair? And so as we get further on, so we will finish our book around midterm, so halfway through the semester. So as you're preparing for your larger speeches, you will have a lot less to do during the week, except your main thing is your speech. Sound good? Okay. So with that said, you have 3 assignments due Monday. It's going to be read chapter 5. So hopefully your chapters, you're figuring out how to read them, how to navigate them. Some of you, I think, need to read a little bit more. I'd like to see you weave the terminology and the concepts from the chapters into your responses. This week, chapter 5 is an 11 question, 11-point quiz. So you'll read chapter 5, you'll take the quiz. It's true, false, multiple choice. So hopefully that is straightforward. It's timed, so make sure you read it, you understand it. Did you have enough time for your last quiz, or did you guys feel completely stressed out? Okay, if you feel like you need more time or whatever, shoot me a message and I can make that adjustment. Then the next thing you'll have is chapter 6 and respond. So chapter 6 is about understanding your audience. And so for this, I have 4 commercials that you'll watch. And there's a little preview on what you need to do. You're just going to answer questions. Who's your audience? Where would you advertise this? And so just answer those. You don't need to write in paragraph form. You can just write in bullets. Complete sentences are still good, so I can follow your train of thought. So you'll do that for each of those 4. It shouldn't take you too long. Probably less than maybe analyzing the Felicia incident or case, I should say. And then your last one is chapter 9. So you'll read that, and then it's a 5-question true-false quiz. So hopefully, I know it's one more chapter than what you've been doing, but I tried to make it a little bit easier. I feel like the quizzes are probably easier than some of the critical thinking, at least for a lot of you. So just keep that in mind. Those are all due Monday before the start of class at 9:20 a.m. Monday next week. So does that sound good? Any questions? Cool. All right. I'm a big person of like, let's just get through the book so that we can just truly like marinate in what we've learned and apply it. So that's why I'm rushing us through. I could space it out, but this is, I think, the more effective route. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, we have a few more weeks of this and then you'll be good. Okay. I wanted to briefly talk about, did anyone want to share anything about the, was it the chapter 2, the Felicia case that you responded to? Anyone have any like thing they just need to pop off about or share? Okay. I want you to know that you were about 50-50 and whether you thought it was ethical for her to share that information or it wasn't ethical to share that information. Now, I haven't read through all of your responses in the Martin Luther King, but I want you to realize that all of us are in, I should say, all of you are a part of the same institution, a part of the same Christian university. And you have different backgrounds. You have, from upbringings to faith to just what kind of political affiliation your family has, to what social class your family is in, to your race, your ethnicity. And so I want you to take that into account. Even though you're all in the same class, we're all learning the same thing, you don't all agree. And that's okay. And what I was able to see is you were able to, in your response, form a kind of a thought train. This is why. And, you support it with textbook, but a lot of you support it with personal opinions too. And so this is why when we get to politics, and we'll start with local politics, this is why when you get to local politics, that 2 people can look at the same issue and then have a very different response. And it turned into not just okay, well, we don't agree necessarily, and turn into like we hate each other. Does that make sense? So ethics, we want them to be universal. They're not. But I think that you can always find common ground in your ethical approach. So any thoughts on that? No. And we'll talk a little bit more about ethics, and we'll talk more about how to find that common ground when we get into persuasion. And so we'll spend a couple of weeks on persuasion. You'll actually give a persuasive speech as well. So let me just make sure I have. If you would mind, just go ahead and type your name in the chat box, or so that I can take attendance later, or just type hi because your name will show up if you have your name on your screen. And so that way when I save, as a reminder, if you ever text in a chat box for a professor who's recording, when the recording downloads, all the chat downloads. So just be aware. I mean, ours, I don't think you have private chat in here, so you don't have to worry about that. But for classes like with a professor who uses 2 screens and hasn't figured out how to do it well, be careful what you say. Making sure I have everything. Duffy, you should text Nathan, make sure he's awake. He submitted a response to me at 2:35 a.m., so he might have forgot to set his alarm again. It's weird. I know all these things about your study habits, and like the people who get them done right away, the people who wait till like right before. I don't care. As long as you get it done, you do you. So, hey, so speeches, this is my first time doing speeches on Zoom too. So we're learning this together. So I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. So I will, did everyone put their name or hi into the text box? Okay. I'm going to see if I have it pasted still. Nope, I got to pull it up. I'm going to paste the Zoom speech order, or I'm sorry, the object speech order for today in the chat box, hopefully. Just in case you weren't remembering. So we're just going to go in order. When it's your turn, give me a minute. I am going to spotlight you. So that means that you'll be the main screen. It should be that way anyways, but just in case, I will spotlight your screen so that your screen is the main screen. I want you to just look into the camera. So I don't know what your computers are like, but I know for my Mac, there's a little green light on right next to my camera. So when I'm looking into the camera, I look into the green light. So look into the green light and give your speech. If you need to take a second, look at your audience, do that, but then remember to look at the green light. That's going to be the camera, I'm sorry. That's going to be a critical key component for you learning how to give effective online style speeches. I may not be looking at you the whole time. I might be looking down. I have my notepad right here. I also have a stopwatch. So if you remember what I told you, to get a B, you state your name, you introduce the object you have to us, and you tell us why it's important. That's an easy B, that's 8 out of 10. If you want the 10 out of 10, do it within the 1 minute to 2 minute time frame. Any questions on that? Okay. So normally I do an exercise that I'm really bummed that we don't get to do today. But what I want you to do is kind of with me is I want you to take a deep breath into your nose, hold, out through your mouth. So smell the roses, blow out the candle. Okay. If you're nervous, that's good. You're supposed to be nervous. If you're stressed out because it's Zoom, you're like, my internet sucks, that's most of us. So just be aware of that. When it's your turn, I want you to take a minute. I will go ahead and say begin. I will mute my mic. As soon as you begin speaking, I will start the timer. So if you need a minute to unmute your mic and all of that stuff, we can. When you are done speaking, I would love for a few of you, 2 or 3 of you, to just simply comment on that person. Like maybe you have a question or maybe you have a thought. It doesn't have to be super profound. It's like, oh man, like I collected Beanie Babies too. I don't know. I'm just, whatever it is that sparks. Don't feel like, if you're the person that feels like you always share in a class because no one else does, don't feel like you need to do that. My hope is that everyone will share at least once, because I want you to be able to speak in a public communication class. We have 11 speeches, assuming that they're 1 to 2 minutes each. That's 22 minutes without any in between time. So we'll probably be done right on time, hopefully a little sooner, and then we'll go from there. Any questions? Everyone feeling good? All right, let's go ahead and get started. There you are. I'm going to spotlight you, Ariel. And whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, good morning. My name is Ariel Aguayo, and the object that I wanted to show you guys today is Doggy. The reason why she's so important to me is because it was one, or the only actually stuffed animal I connected with. The reason being is when I got her, or my grandma got her for me, she got her this dress as well as another one, a matching pair for me. I I used to try to wear that dress all the time, every day, but there was a rule set that it was only for Sundays for church. So I would bring her to church with me and wear the dress. Another reason being is she was a part of pretty important like moments in my life, like vacation trips, which doesn't seem as important, but introductions for boyfriends. Actually, introduced to her boyfriend just recently, and weird kind of situation, but he took it pretty well. And when I first moved out, I took her along with me. And when I moved into the dorms, I showed her to my roommate. Um, and yeah, so she's been a part of me for a very long time. I got her when I was 6, and I still sleep with her today. She has a place on my bed. And yeah, thank you.
That's how you do it. She said her name, she introduced her object, she told us why it was important, and she did it in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Any comments, questions, thoughts? Go ahead.
Um, I just wanted to say that I think like being the first one to go in front of the class can be really hard and really stressful, especially because you're not quite sure like how it's going to go, or you don't get to watch other people and take off of like what they did good, what they did bad. So for going first, I think you did a great job. And I think that you were super confident, even though like you can get nervous and everyone gets nervous, but I feel like your voice came through really strong and you looked at the camera most of the time. So I think you did a really good job.
Thank you.
You got some comments too in the chat box. Thanks for reminding me about the chat box. That's a good way to throw your thoughts and your kudos or your snaps, whatever you guys call them now. So, anyone else want to say anything?
Did your grandma make both of the dresses? Did she like sew them?
No, she just bought them at this swap meet, and it came with like a pair. It already had a doll, but she bought the dog and just put it on the dog and gave me the dress. And she's like, "Look, you can match."
Adorable.
Yeah,
That's
I love it.
Awesome. Well done. Brooke, are you ready? All right, I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you and begin when you're ready.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Brooke Byrne. So I'm going to talk to you about my journal. I know it's basic theme, but I'm going to explain why it's important to me. So it says, it says happy thoughts on it. So it's important to me for 2 different reasons. So the first one is I'm very organized. I write down everything I need to do in a day, everything I need to do in a week, and I get satisfaction from crossing that off my list and being able to tell myself that I got something done. And also, I'm definitely a perfectionist. That's something that I struggle with. And this is a place where I get to write unapologetically about if I mess up. And I took a writing class last semester, and I literally would get so frustrated if my penmanship wasn't correct or if my sentences weren't complex enough. So this is where I get to write my thoughts about the day, devotionals, things about working out, just getting everything off my chest. So I really love it. So I would say those are 2 big reasons why I write. I also write poems. I got an award for writing a poem once, and I used my book to write a bunch of different things. And the type of writing style that I would say I use is more of, like, if you kind of saw it when I wrote the haiku, I like to explain my emotions with metaphors or using objects rather than like directly expressing my feelings. So this is where I get to practice and I get to show myself my own abilities. So that's it. Thank you.
Well done.
I think Brookie should share one of her poems.
Why you gotta do that, Adam? Why you gotta do that?
She already did for her haiku assignment.
Thank you.
But Adam's going to share a poem later, okay? All right, any real comments?
I kind of have the same thing, but I have like multiple journals just like scattered everywhere. So it's kind of whichever one is around me that I find that I use. But yeah, I'm a perfectionist too in that way. It's just so satisfying just to get it off your chest there.
So Duffy, what's the deal with the men's soccer team, women's soccer team? I feel like there's some tension going on there.
Oh, no, there's no tension. I don't think.
Okay.
Or wait, is there tension, Brooke? Brooke can talk more about this.
I don't think there's tension. I just remember before we left the women's and men's team, we had a tournament. And I'm pretty sure my team did better than Duffy's. So that's all.
No. See, so that's a lie, because it just is. So
Well,
don't believe.
I'm pretty sure Brooke recorded it all, so we can just go back to her notes and find out what happened. But I think both of you need to let it go. You know what I do when my 9-year-old won't let something go? I literally play the song every single time I say let it go twice. And we have Amazon Alexas in all the rooms. I'll say play it in all the rooms. So he can't even run away. Okay, I'll try to not pick on you guys as much, but yeah, it's actually kind of fun. So, all right. Anything else for Brooke? Duffy, anything from Nathan?
No, I'm not gonna make an excuse. I don't know what it is.
I like this class already. Okay. Jennifer, you ready? I can't find your screen. Why am I not seeing your screen? There you are. Spotlight you, and whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello everybody and good morning. My name is Jennifer, and then the object today I'm going to be showing you guys is this Polaroid. I don't know if you guys can see it. It might be a little blurry, but it's me, and then there's my dad, and then there's my mom. And the reason why this object is important to me is because I carry it with me all times. If I don't have it in my purse, I try to have it on the back of my phone just so I can get a reminder that my family loves me and that I have support with them. And it also reminds me that I have an amazing opportunity of going to college. Unfortunately, my parents weren't able to go to college, but it just shows that I can further my education and that I just have an amazing opportunity unlike them. And it just motivates me to do better, and just it reminds me that that I can do better. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Any comments or questions? My wife just bought herself one of those mini Polaroids in the Fujifilm ones. It's like super small. And then her mom found her grandfather. So my wife's grandfather's old school Polaroid that like folds up. And so yesterday I bought film and it still works. So now all she wants to do is take really expensive photos of everything. Anyone else want to chime in?
I don't have it now, but I used to have a clear phone case, and I used to carry a picture of me and my sisters. I have 3 of them, so we're pretty close, and I can definitely relate. If it wasn't in my phone, it was in my purse or in my wallet. So, yeah.
Cool. Be sure to read the chat box. There's lots of stuff going on in there. I like that. All right, Duffy, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Good. All right, you're spotlighted whenever you're ready.
Shit, I can see myself. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Adam Duffy, and today my object is this National Geographic magazine. Now, it's not actually like what's in this magazine. It's more like a symbol, I guess. So growing up, I used to love, or I still do, love adventuring and like exploring a bunch of different places. We would go camping with our family all the time, and I would love just documenting and like taking pictures and videos of places we went. And that hobby later turned into more of like a passion and something I want to do for a career. And one of the places I want to work at is National Geographic, because what they do is they document all different types of culture and things people do, landscapes, and I just find that super fascinating. And yeah, so all I want to do in the future is to travel and document different cultures and landscapes and work for National Geographic. And yes, that's just it.
Well done. Any thoughts, questions? I want to say that I've noticed that even though Duffy is kind of like the, he just tries to be funny. He's got a very magnetic personality. If you've read his posts and his interactions, there's a level of depth and maturity to you, Duffy, that I think is incredible. And I actually spent time on watching your YouTube channel and the different stuff you did, because I started college as a film major, so I'm always intrigued. And just the way that you approach the couple of things that I've watched, I'm very impressed. And hearing this about you, like I can see you working for National Geographic and understanding how it started with you growing up and kind of documenting your trips. Like it's cool. It's kind of like I've been getting these puzzle pieces from all of you, but I'm picking on Duffy because he's the only other guy in the class, and I kind of picked on him a lot already today. But there's a depth and maturity to you that I think people could miss, and I just wanted to highlight that. So yeah. Anything else? You left them all speechless, Duffy. Well done. Kelsey, let me find you. Let me spotlight you, and let's hear when you're ready.
Okay, before I start, my dog is whining, so if you hear it, I guess he's trying to fight somebody outside. I don't know. But yeah, okay, so I'm ready. Hi guys, my name is Kelsey Frazier. I go by Kels. The object that I want to share today is a picture. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's my grandfather, my cousin Shane, and I. The picture is important to me because it was the last picture that my cousin and I took with my grandfather before he passed away. Actually, it was the day before he passed away. Yeah, it's important to me because my grandfather was my best friend. He passed away when I was 4, but I can still remember us going to like McDonald's after school, and as he used to smoke, so we would go to the liquor store and he would get cigarettes. My grandmother always talks about how Shane and I didn't like that he was smoking, and so he would go to Costco and he would get like the big packs of cigarettes and my cousin and I will rip them, my grandmother said. And my grandfather, like, he didn't care. He wasn't mad at us. But yeah, I miss him every day. And yeah, it's just me, my cousin, and my grandfather. I have 2 older cousins, Shannon and Brittany, and I call us the OGs, because we knew my grandfather. My little sister and my other cousin, Samantha, they never met him, so they don't know how awesome he was. But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Is this the same grandfather that was married to the grandma that you've referred to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, anyone have any questions or comments or thoughts?
I think it's just that, like, so sweet that you had that kind of relationship with your grandfather. My grandpa actually just died like a year ago, but we never had like a relationship like that. So it's just cool to see that you did.
Anyone else want to voice their thoughts? I think you all like the chatting. It's actually really cool. I never thought that the chatting would be such a good way of feedback. So your next speech will be on Instagram Live, so everyone can give all the, yeah, I'm just kidding. Although you're like, yes, let's do it. No. All right, Joanne. Let me find your screen right there. Spotlight you, and whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Joanne. My most significant item to me is my flute. I've touched about this a lot before, but it's honestly too important for me not to talk about. It was one of my first biggest accomplishments as well as my biggest commitment. I've been playing since I was in 5th grade, and from 5th grade up to now, I've accomplished a lot as well as improved a lot. I've had a lot of frustrating moments, a lot leading to tears, but it's the rewarding moments that make it worthwhile. I've been playing for 8 years. I was in band concert for 7 years. I was in marching band for like 3 years, but I quit for 1 year because I thought I wanted to do something different, but clearly not. It has helped me come out of my shell a lot more as a person. I can be quite shy at first, but it has helped giving me confidence as well as learning to trust myself more, because having to play in front of a lot of people, I kind of have to believe in myself a little bit. It's been a great way for me to make connections and friendships with people, especially people who love to do what I do as well. It's been a great way to make a lot of memories, from band concerts to band competitions, as well as the practices. It's just been a great way to make a lot of memories and have a lot of moments that I can look back upon. So from my music experience to the time I was in band, it's honestly just a representation of a really big journey in my life that I really want to continue, even in AP. Thank you.
Any questions, thoughts? Any other bandies that need to identify themselves? No one else was in band?
I actually was in band for not even a full year. I couldn't even make it through. So all props to you, girl, because it is not as easy as everyone hypes it up to be. I play the clarinet, and I thought it was cool thing in 5th grade, and it stopped after 5th grade, for sure. But I'm so proud of you. It is not easy, and so go get them at AP. That's awesome.
Thank you. Honestly, I was going to do clarinet too. It was either clarinet or flute because I don't have big fingers. Like, I can't really play any other instrument, but yeah, it was flute for me.
Were you in marching band or a different kind of band?
Me?
Yeah.
I was in both. I was in marching band for 3 years, and then I was in concert band most of my life.
Oh, marching band is a sport. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you.
I'm not musically inclined in any way, but I've had a lot of students in marching band, and so I've gone and supported them and fed them, and not just them, but like the whole band. And like, they say Hell Week, and it is hell from what I saw. So I'm not trying to compare it to soccer, Brooke Duffy. I'm just saying it's a sport. Bowling, on the other hand, I don't know if that's a sport, but yeah. Maddie, you ready? Whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and the item that I brought today is my sister's insulin pen. So this is one of two types of insulin that she uses. This one is called bolus, and she uses this one throughout the day. And so she'll give herself this kind of insulin when she's eating carbs or her blood glucose is high. She adjusts the units here depending on how high her blood glucose is or how many carbs she's eating, attaches a new sanitized needle each time, and then she'll inject it into a fatty area of herself. The reason that I brought this item today is because in 2018, not only was my sister's life affected greatly, but it was kind of a whole lifestyle change for my entire family. So in 2018, my sister got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which is an autoimmune disorder also known as juvenile diabetes. It's a chronic condition in which the pancreas no longer produces insulin, which is the greatest difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. But that just means that this is my sister's lifeline. So her life fully depends and is supported by this little amount of fluid, which is kind of a scary and crazy thought to think about. So this really encourages me and motivates me to educate others on what type 1 diabetes is and to promote type 1 diabetes research to make life like hers and other people with type 1 make it easier for them to live. Yes.
Well done. Any thoughts, questions, comments? They're typing. They don't want to speak. They're typing. My niece, she's in 8th grade now, lives in North Carolina, but she has type 1 as well. And I've actually flown out to North Carolina and I've done the walks with her and stuff like that. But it's scary because they didn't know what was wrong. They didn't know if she was like gluten intolerant or if she's lactose intolerant. They knew that since she was a baby, she had issues. And then she ended up going to the hospital and just, but I also had another student who, from my church, one day he ended up in the emergency room and ended up at CHOC, which Children's Hospital Orange County. His blood sugar count was over 1,000. And so the people who were there waiting for him thought he was going to come in a coma, but he walked in and was just like kind of joking with everybody. And so that was fun. I left class and went down there, and I don't do well in hospitals. So I kind of act like an immature person. So that case, I had a black shirt on. So I buttoned the top button and put a tissue underneath, like I had a collar. And I just walked around just blessing people. So my name tag said that I was clergy. So yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a similar experience with my sister. For several months, misdiagnosed, and so that long period of time without the proper care, she was starting to go into diabetic coma, meaning like her brain was starting to swell and her organs were starting to shut down at that point. But on the outside, besides like the dramatic weight loss, you would have no idea that anything was wrong with her, but luckily they were able to revive her back in time.
It's good. It's scary, and it's really intriguing because it's not a matter of, because people think, oh, just eat less sugar, drink less sugar, but it's really more about carbs than sugar, which when I say don't eat carbs, most of the people in here kind of cringe on the inside because you all like your carbs. So yeah, well done. And it sounds like you're a good sister for understanding and not only being able to help. Maybe you should give her that pen back, just FYI. But
She's
yeah,
wearing her
just
pen now, so I'm able to steal her pen from her today.
yeah. One more thought. That one student I was telling you about, like we were at camp one time and he was having his blood sugar dropped at night and his thing was beeping. And so another student of mine who's also diabetic, who's his best friend, woke up in the middle of the night, opened up his bag because he has the little things of jelly that you get like at restaurants. And he just scooped it out and put it in his mouth while he was sleeping. Kid didn't even wake up, but his blood sugar level balanced after that. I was like,
Yeah.
this is incredible.
Most nights. I'm really alert to that, and I run to get the apple juice.
Yeah. Those were high school boys soccer players. So pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, it's probably, he got so low because of all the working out. I know that's what happens with my sister. She tends to get low at night from working out. That kind of speeds up their process of insulin.
Cool. Any other thoughts, questions? You got a few comments, so be sure and check those out. All right, Destiny, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and spotlight your video if you, oh, okay, there we go. And
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Destiny Sanders, and the object I brought with me today were my honor roll certification for quarters 1 and 2 of my junior year. And the reason I brought them was because it was my first time ever getting honor roll my whole time I was in school. And this really holds a lot of weight for me because like I've never thought that I would get it. So when my principal called my name for it, I was very surprised and excited, and I felt very accomplished that day. I actually dreaded the day because I didn't think that I would get it. So when the principal called my name, I thought it was a joke. So I'm sitting there, um, and I told my friend, I don't think I actually got it. I think she's talking about someone else because there were a lot of names that sounded alike in my grade. So I thought she said someone else's name at first. And she called my name again, and it was me. So that's why that's why it's really important to me.
Awesome.
And that's it.
Well done. Questions, comments, thoughts?
I had the same situation when I was younger in elementary school. For some reason, I couldn't get an A in math. It was my biggest struggle, and I just couldn't. And finally, my 8th grade year, I finally got that A. I worked so hard for it, and I could definitely relate to that accomplishment. To this day, it's what you call my biggest flex, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely relate to that. It's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? You got the comments rolling in, so that's cool. Nobody gives me comments when I teach well, so you guys should be proud of yourselves. Don't give me comments, that will completely distract me. You can comment me afterwards. You get the chance to rate me, for the university and for the world to see, on 2 different platforms. And yes, professors do read them, and then they laugh at them, and they try to figure out which student wrote what. But then it really doesn't matter because I don't look until after the semester anyways. And if the funny thing is you may remember my name longer than I'll remember your name. So yeah. If you give an epic speech, I'll remember you, just FYI. Like I still remember the girl, not her name, but I remember the girl who gave a speech on why all football players should take ballet lessons. And I also remember other like projects and stuff just because of the epicness. All right, any other questions, thoughts, comments? I keep going into rabbit holes and tangents. Okay. Kayla, let me find your screen. It's like playing match, but there's no, oh, there you are. Thank you for waving. That really helps. You were literally right in front of me. I just, all right. Whenever you're ready.
Hi, my name is Kayla Shaler, and the object I'm presenting to you today is my playbill from the Broadway musical Wicked. I'm using a little bit of Broadway jargon here. So basically, a playbill is a pamphlet that displays the musical's cast and crew and a list of the songs in chronological order. And Wicked is a prequel to a film many of you may have seen before, which is The Wizard of Oz. It's a total classic. And in Wicked, you get to experience the relationship between the Wicked Witch of the West, the Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba, and Glinda the Good Witch before they were enemies in The Wizard of Oz. So they were actually friends before they were enemies. I saw Wicked in San Jose, a city in the Bay Area, about a year ago, maybe a little more. And I saw it with my aunt, my cousin. And this object is important to me for 3 reasons. Number one, it's associated with great memories. I got to go to a nice dinner, I got to wear nice clothes, and the play was absolutely spectacular. I was mind blown. 2, I bonded a lot with my aunt and my cousin. We still talk about Wicked from time to time, and we share a lot of great memories with that night. And 3, it introduced me to Broadway, and now I'm absolutely obsessed with musicals. I am trying to learn Hamilton right now, and I'm almost a quarter of the way there. So yeah, thank you for your time and your attention.
Awesome. Any thoughts, comments? Anyone want to say that they've seen it and love it too?
Yeah, I've seen it at on Broadway and also at the Pantages, and I usually go with my family, and it's just like an amazing experience and such a fun time, so I can totally relate.
I agree. I loved it so much. Oh, so good.
By show of hands, how many of you have been to a Broadway musical show production? A lot of you. They're fun. Remember, I took my nephew and niece a few years back to saw Lion King, and I spent like $600 for the 3 of us to go see it. And we sat as close as I could afford, but we were on one of the aisles where when they did the parades and the animals would come down. And I just remember there's one scene where these hyenas came down, and one looked my niece straight in the face because she was sitting on the end, and I thought she was going to punch it. But then she started laughing hysterically because she was so scared and didn't know what to do. But yeah, always good memories. I haven't seen Wicked. I haven't seen Hamilton, but I've seen a few others. So
Hamilton is on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, I'd highly recommend.
I'll get it when the next season of Mandalorian comes out. But yeah. I was told that we're doing a Star Wars theme for Halloween, so I will be the Mandalorian and my dog will be the child.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're not staying in the same chronological area. Our youngest is going to be Boba Fett, our 9-year-old wants to be a flame trooper, and my wife's going to be Rey. So we're getting our nerd on. I think I told you we got married on Star Wars Day, so it all fits.
In addition to being a musical fan, I'm also a huge Star Wars fan, so this is amazing to me.
Nice. So I will post pictures eventually.
Kayla, I've seen Disney on Ice, so I don't know how it compares to Broadway, but
I've seen Disney on Ice too, Duffy, actually from a suite. That's how intense it was, yeah.
I've seen like clips of Disney on Ice, but I've never gotten the chance to watch it, so.
Awesome. Be sure and read your comments. Savannah, I see your face right there. I'm trying to look before I say your name so it's less awkward. Whenever you are ready.
Hi, I'm Savannah, and I'd like to give some background information about myself before I get started. I was a 4-year varsity basketball player at my high school, and basketball's always been my favorite sport. I grew up playing it with my brother, but loved it even more in high school because of my coaches and my teammates. Not to brag, but I was the first person at my high school to score over 1,000 points over my 4-year career. And that leads me to this basketball. This basketball is not just any other ball, but it's the game ball the night that I reached my 1,000 points. My coach happened to save it for me, and she even had the art teacher paint on it, and it says my name, my achievement, and the day and who we played against. It was an emotional time, the last game of the season, because my career in basketball officially was over. But this ball is extra special to me and very important to me because my coach gave it to me the day after my knee surgery following senior night when I tore my ACL. So this ball is basically a symbol of all the hard work that I've done over the 4 years and even more since I started in 2nd grade. I even have the ball in a case in my room and I look at it all the time. But like last night, my cat even knocked it down, so I was kind of upset about it. But so yes, this is a symbol, and I really appreciate my coach and my teammates giving this to me.
Awesome. Thoughts, comments, questions?
You seem like a stud when it comes to basketball. Are you doing basketball at APU too?
No, I originally had a scholarship to play in the East Coast, but since I tore my ACL, I lost that scholarship. So I'm going to just focus on my studies, and I'm glad I'm here at APU.
Got it. Oh, that's awesome.
Do you know the breakdown on like how many free throws, how many 2-pointers or 3-pointers, all that?
No, but I think I averaged like 80% on the free throw line over all 4 years. And I think it was like 40% over threes. So it's a shooting guard and point guard.
Any other basketball players?
I'm not a basketball player, I'm a soccer player. But I just find that so fascinating. That's crazy, Savannah, that you did that. And I know Brooke can't relate to breaking records, but I can totally relate to it, and that's just insane. Good job.
How many goals have you scored? And Brooke has one more than that, right?
I think altogether, I'm better than Duffy. I just think I have a lot more going than me in line. But, you know.
I think your persuasive speeches are going to be why you're better than the other person. And you know what? I'm going to mess it up. You're going to do why the other person's better than you. That's your persuasive speech topic. All right. Alex, you ready to be the last speech of today?
Yes, I am ready.
Then whenever you're ready, take it away.
Cool. So my name is Alexandra, or Alex, and ever since I was little, I've always loved to read. So recently I've been picking up books like Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, Carson Levine's Ella Enchanted, that one's a good one, and the whole selection series by Kira Cass. But I'm not gonna introduce you guys to those anymore. And I actually wanted to share a book that I loved since I was a kid. It's this one right here. It's called The Barnyard Boogie. It's just Barnyard Boogie. And it's a puppet book. It has each page featuring a different animal and its song. So it was pretty fun to see it as a kid. And also, like, of course, as a kid, I didn't read it to myself. My mom would always read it to me. And so it made for like really good memories. And this was actually my favorite page. It's kind of weird, but it's like a cat wearing glasses. And he says, I'm a linky slinky jazz cat. And the way my mom would read it is like, I'm a linky slinky jazz cat. And it's like, you can't forget the way that you read books because it's just so great when your parents do it in like such a fun way. And now my nephew, who's 2 years old, has inherited this book, and I really I love to watch my parents read it to him because they do it in the exact same way that they did it for me. And it's like so adorable to watch his face light up, and I really feel like he will remember this book like I did for like years to come. And yeah, I really think that this book does a really good job of bringing the reader and the listener together, and like making really good memories. And so that's why it's important to me.
Awesome. So did you read it when you picked it up with all the voices in your head?
Yeah, exactly. Like the first page is the cow, or no, not the first page. One of the first pages is the cow, and he has his own voice, and it's like, it's like, I'm a mosey milk cow. So there's that.
Awesome. Anyone else familiar with the book?
I actually have the same book, but I don't really read books, so that was probably like one of the few that I've actually read. I always loved it because as a kid, like the puppet was always the main part in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then the back is awesome too. We can like flip the farmer's lips out. and then it's like a human. So yeah, that's cool.
So you will have the opportunity to read that book to the class later on this semester.
Sweet.
So
I might pick you up on that.
any other questions, comments, thoughts? Okay. Well, I normally am not allowed to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Normally, I'm not supposed to. Everyone who gave a speech today got an A. So way to go. You met the objectives and you stayed within the time frame. So way to set the bar where it needs to be set. I'm excited. It's fun to get to know each other a little bit, right? It's almost like these people in the screens are becoming human beings. Actually, we have a couple minutes here. So would 2 or 3 of you who went today give some, maybe your best advice to people who are going next week on how they can best prepare on Wednesday for their speech? So if you went today and you have like something you want to say to help those going next class, what would you say?
For me, I knew I was lost, and I made sure to not look at the list to see when I was going to go, because I knew that would like take over my thoughts and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm like next after 2 people, you know, and like count it down from there. So don't look at the list, just wait for your name to be called.
Good.
And having positive thoughts will definitely help. I was thinking positive thoughts the whole time before I gave the speech, so I would recommend having those.
This is gonna sound really silly, but in order to remind myself to look at the camera, I taped 2 googly eyes for the camera. So yeah, if you want to remind yourself, googly eyes, it worked great.
I might have to throw that on Instagram as a reminder for people. Maybe you should take a picture and send it to me so I could post it. Cool. Well, hey, time is up. Thank you. It was cool. Go in peace, take the peace, spread the peace. If you have questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. If not, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.